7's News at 5.
Good evening, I'm Jade Balexa. The administration building at the Lowndes County Sheriff's Office now named after a longtime sheriff who served the community for decades. Sheriff Larry Campbell died in December after battling cancer. And today, a very touching ceremony where a crowd of law enforcement, community members, and leaders gathered to recognize him. A special moment for the family of the late Sheriff Larry Campbell. The Lowndes County Sheriff's Administrative Building was dedicated in his honor.
I'll remember him, but Colton and Carson and Campbell. Someday we'll be able to come to FSU and they'll be able to tell their friends that their pa was here.
Sheriff Campbell worked for more than 50 years in law enforcement.
When it was time to be tough, he could be tough. When it was time to be gentle and help somebody in need, he could do that too.
Campbell was also a U.S. Marine.
The dedication of this building is a small token compared to the lifetime of service that he gave to this community and to his country.
To Sheriff Mike Wood, he was not just a boss, but a mentor, a close friend, and like family. This tribute will leave a lasting impact of Sheriff Larry Campbell's life for generations to come. And Sheriff Wood also said it was the Lowndes County Commission's vision for the building dedication, and he thanked them for help making it a reality. And we're now learning the name of a man killed in Bainbridge. The killer is still on the run tonight. Bainbridge Public Safety says Marcus Bell was shot and killed at an apartment complex on Southwest Street around 8 last night. Officers say they have a person of interest in the case, a 26-year-old man who goes by the name of Scooter. Now, officers describe him as black with a tattoo on his left arm, a short afro, a black spot on the white part of his left eye, and 2 earrings in his left ear. He was last seen riding a dark beach cruiser bike. If you know where he might be, you are asked to call officers at 229-248-2038. Lowndes County deputies are trying to track down the person responsible for throwing a glass bottle at a group of bikers. The bikers were recording their trek along Old State Road in eastern Lowndes County on Sunday when video captured a black truck driving by throwing a glass bottle at the group. Deputies say the bottle luckily missed the cyclist, but it did shatter when it hit the asphalt, showering one of the cyclists with glass. Since the incident was captured on video, they were able to capture these photos of the truck that threw the bottle. Deputies are asking for your help to find the driver of that truck. You can provide an anonymous tip at 229-671-2985 or leave one online at lowndessheriff.com. A report is out from the Consolidated Dispatch Agency in Tallahassee saying that EMS response to an accident that killed 3 people was not compromised, despite some first responders originally being sent to the wrong location. The September 26th accident happened just after 9 p.m. The CDA says the call taker cloned an incorrect incident number to both EMS and the fire department that referenced a call from the day before that happened in Northeast Tallahassee. That means EMS and TFD were dispatched to the wrong location. However, the report found that 21 seconds later, a third call taker sent the right location to EMS, but not TFD. EMS arrived on scene 3 minutes and 11 seconds after the initial call. TFD, however, was not there until 10 minutes and 2 seconds after the call. The report says even though TFD was delayed, EMS was still able to get there on time. And to find out what corrective measures the CDA has adopted to make sure this does not happen again, tune in to your news at 6. Well, as the Florida legislature begins its preparations for the 2016 session, a controversial gun bill is already slated for its first committee hearing Wednesday. The bill would allow people with concealed weapons permits to carry their weapons on college and university campuses. Last session's version of the bill sparked heavy debate and drew opposition from the state university system's Board of Governors, university police chiefs, and the 12 public universities. Florida State University President John Thrasher, a former legislative leader, was and remains opposed.
I frankly think it's just a mistake to do it. I've said that. I'm going to continue to say it. I believe in the Second Amendment. I supported it when I was in the legislature, but I think there certainly are reasonable exceptions. This is one of those.
Last session's bill failed in the Senate Judiciary Committee, but the bill's sponsor remained undeterred. Once again, their state representative Greg Stubbe of Sarasota and State Senator Greg Evers of Baker, both Republicans. The proposal is backed by the National Rifle Association and opposed by the League of Women Voters. FAMU students heard from the school's president today for a State of the University address this morning.
Rattlers, we got enemies. We got a lot of enemies. We got a lot of fiends taking the drink out of Jane on our energy. They're not going to take away from the rattler.
FAMU President Dr. Elmira Mangum took some words from the rapper Drake to encourage students to think positively in her annual convocation. The university band welcomed the president in a packed crowd at Jake Gaither Gymnasium. President Mangum says the university has grown and succeeded in several areas, but admits there are struggles in maintaining an HBCU or historically black college or university. However, she says she's confident the university is in strong shape.
We have come a long way, and we have a long way yet to go. But we have the foundation to be a best-in-class land-grant doctoral university with an international presence. So working together, we will prepare our students and faculty to be global leaders using best practices.
Today's convocation comes right after FAMU launched a new strategic planning process for the school last Thursday. She appointed former interim president Larry Robinson to head a task force charged with revising the 2010-2020 strategic plan for the university. In Georgia, the state's annual Peanut Tour is beginning this week. The Peanut Tour will run from today through Thursday and include stops in Thomas, Grady, Decatur, Seminole, and Miller counties. It's meant to provide those who attend with information about the state's peanut producing industry. Officials say those unable to attend may visit the Georgia Peanut Tour blog for updates throughout the event. We'll put a link up about that blog on our website at WTXL.tv. Gambling supporters made their first public pitch this week, saying that casinos and horse racing are the solution to Georgia's college scholarship funding gap. A study committee on the merit-based HOPE program held its first meetings this week. They have until December 1st to make recommendations about funding for the program. It's designed to cover college expenses using lottery funding, but demand has outpaced funding. Gambling supporters say lawmakers should pick the best strategies from other states, possibly putting a $1 billion resort and casino in downtown Atlanta with smaller projects in other spots. Some prominent GOP officials, including Governor Nathan Deal, still oppose gambling expansion. Lottery officials also warn it could harm their income. And across Florida, the University of North Florida is taking steps to create an inclusive space for LGBT students to call home. The Jacksonville school calls it gender-inclusive housing. Their new housing offers a specific place for transgender and gender nonconforming students to live together. The dorms are clustered in several residence halls across campus for first-year students all the way up to seniors. GOP presidential hopeful Marco Rubio is turning some heads, especially in Tallahassee, with some recent comments he made on a radio show in Iowa.
I think there has to be a school where people that can't get into Florida can go to college. And so that's why we have Florida State.
And today, Rubio defended the comment saying, quote, FSU fans relax. It was just college football trash talk on sports radio, not serious statement on Meet the Press, end quote. And then the UF graduate added, we are still going to beat FSU. And we asked our viewers what you thought about Rubio's controversial comments. Linda Ivy Croce weighed in saying they were, quote, not true. My son got accepted to both schools and decided on FSU, go Noles, end quote. Another viewer commented that Rubio should stick to politics and said that the football rivalry should not extend to academics. Megan Amelia said this: "If my daughter wants to be a doctor or veterinarian or engineer, I'm going to urge her to go to UF. If she wants to be an educator or in the criminal justice field, it's FSU all the way. Intellectual aptitude is not determined by first downs and field goals." And not everyone was upset about the comments, suggesting, like Rubio did, that it was all just a joke. Chris Sanders writing, "Who cares? I'm not gonna not vote for someone because they made a joke about FSU. Get over it, geez." And we want to hear what you think. Did Rubio go too far, or was it just a joke about a rivalry between the two schools? Share your opinions. We would love to hear from you. Share them on our Facebook page, WTXL Tallahassee, and also on Twitter. And I gotta say, Twitter sure is blowing up over those comments. Checking in now with Chief Meteorologist Casanova Nurse. Good evening, Cass.
Hey there, Jade. Quite a change from what we had earlier this week. We had the rain on Saturday, sunshine Sunday, a very cool start Monday. Not as cool this morning and not as sunny for most of the afternoon, but at least it is not raining across our local area. Nearest rain is near the mouth of the Suwannee River. A couple light spots in Columbia County as well, but locally speaking, we are generally void of any sort of unsettled weather, but that's not necessarily the case across the entire region. Our winds now beginning to come in from more of an easterly direction, and that is mainly because of the high that gave us that cool snap is now over the Carolinas. So the east wind is tapping into some Atlantic moisture, but there's a broader stretch of moisture offshore, and that could certainly help to further, I guess, give us some more moisture across our area and maybe give us a little more cloud cover. But temperatures currently have been held back some because of the extra cloud cover, so still mild but not oppressively hot. The highest we've seen is some mid and upper 80s across the area with that ongoing east to even northeast wind flow, and the air is stirred up rather adequately, so it helps to maybe add a little more comfort to the air. Dew point levels have been mostly in the 60s, so there's still at least a mild presence of the dry air, especially across interior areas of South Georgia. But the dew point, for example, in Live Oak is 73, so the moistening process is underway. That will eventually lead to get in on some rain chances for us, and I'll let you know when to expect that in your Storm Team forecast.
All right, Cass, thanks a lot. As your News at 5 continues, Republican presidential candidates are gearing up for their next debate of the primary season. Plus, children in Utah swept away by floodwaters. Why the mayor believes they may not have been prepared for the disaster. But first, connect with ABC 27 on our official app. Stay up to date with all the latest local news by downloading the app for free at the App Store and Google Play. The Republican presidential candidates are headed to California for the second debate of the primary season. The man leading in the polls, Donald Trump, comes off a rally in Dallas where more than 15,000 supporters showed up and thousands more were outside for a Dump the Trump rally. The billionaire's supporters clashed with protesters over immigration. Inside, Trump did not back down. He called the United States a dumping ground for the rest of the world.
We have to build a wall, folks. We have to build a wall. And a wall works. All you have to do is go to Israel, say, how's your wall working? Walls work.
As for the debate, Trump told his supporters that he expects his rivals to come after him hard. And even before the debate, a GOP group has announced that it will spend at least $1 million on TV ads targeting Trump in the early primary voting state of Iowa. 8 people are dead and 5 others are missing after flash floods tore through a Utah town Monday night. Hilldale fire officials say 2 cars packed with women and children were on a gravel road when a wall of water and debris hit them from behind and swept them away. The fire chief says the flash flood was so significant it overwhelmed them and pushed them into the channel. The vehicles were rolled several hundred yards downstream.
There's still active floodwaters and very dangerous, very treacherous. The banks are caving off. More significant flood than we've had for quite some time.
Authorities say many towns residents home to the headquarters of Warren Jeff's polygamous sect were caught off guard because they might not have known about the flash flood warnings. As the search for the missing continues, forecasters say there is more rain in the forecast. The United States is raising new alarms about Russian military activity in Syria. The Pentagon says satellite images taken early this month suggest Russia is trying to establish a forward operating base in western Syria. The images are from Stratfor, a geopolitical intelligence and advisory firm based in the United States. The U.S. says they show early construction on a Russian base near Latakia that may be used to assist Syrian President Bashar al-Assad in the country's ongoing civil war. New threats out of North Korea. The country says it's ready to use nuclear weapons on the U.S. and other nations that remain hostile toward the North Korean regime. Pyongyang has issued similar threats in the past, but experts doubt North Korea has the missile technology to target the U.S. mainland. The latest threat comes as North Korea plans more satellite launches, despite the UN Security Council banning them.
We've moved over time a good deal of missile defense capability to the region, ground-based interceptors to Alaska, surface combatants to the Western Pacific, a THAAD battery on Guam, another radar in Japan, in order to be ready and vigilant for anything that the North Koreans may or may not do.
The launches are seen as a way North Korea can test its missiles. And let's check back in with Chief Meteorologist Casanova Nurse to see how the weather might shape up tonight. Cass?
Well, if you're hoping to wear the sweaters for a few more evenings and mornings, you will be disappointed in the Storm Team forecast. And if you're looking for abundant sunshine, that could be another point of disappointment because we have had that filtering cloud cover effect thanks to some areas of moisture and storminess in the Gulf, some of that streaming overhead, and reducing the amounts of sunshine at St. Teresa today. We'll talk about the warmth and the increase in the rain potential in the Storm Team forecast.
Coming up tonight at 7, it's the Jimbo Fisher Call-In Show. Tune in to WTXL ABC 27 to hear Florida State head coach Jimbo Fisher and the voice of the Seminoles, Gene Deckerhoff, discuss this Friday's game against Boston. Again, it's all tonight at 7. Wow, looking forward to that. It's going to be so exciting to hear what he has to say.
Yeah, and the Noles are still undefeated.
Yeah. Looking forward to it. Oh, I got to get out to a game this year.
Probably a lot of fans calling in with congratulations and praise and insight into the upcoming game.
For sure. And I bet the weather is nice up that way, much cooler than here, right?
Yeah, I think we will certainly have that split temperature difference between here and there, as maybe some of that warmth tries to creep back to the north, not to the same extent as our summertime heat waves that we've had, but certainly a modifying trend across much of the eastern U.S. And locally, the modification is in the amounts of moisture. Very dry past couple days, but now the moistening trend is back. Winds from the east and even radar showing at least a couple showers, mostly in the far southeastern segments of our region and over northeast Florida. But the more expansive view shows just how vast the moisture increase is, and a fairly solid east, even southeast wind. Minor disturbance in the Florida Straits, very unorganized and nothing of major concern, but it will help to propel additional moisture towards us, as well as the associated cloudiness, and that means next few days will start to feel a little more sticky, and the skies may not be as abundantly sunny as they were over the weekend. For the night ahead, we will discount the possibility of any sort of rain locally, maybe a stray shower in our far eastern areas, but not a whole lot around the Tallahassee metro, but plenty of cloud cover, mostly high thin clouds around, with temperatures still holding into the 80s for another couple of hours. 87 currently at the airport in Tallahassee, while it's 82 in Thomasville. Similar sky setup with filtered sunshine and a little bit more in the way of abundant sunshine in Valdosta. But again, some of those high thin cirrus clouds have been streaming in with the extra sources of moisture coming off of that blob of moisture that's still in the central Gulf, as well as some of the moisture approaching the southeastern Gulf too. So we're starting to see a little convergence of the moistening trend, and high pressure, which is still over the Carolinas, gave us that cool snap a couple mornings ago, still entrenched across the Carolinas, and its positioning gives us the east wind. So the east wind around the high and an overall east wind around the broad low in the far southeastern Gulf. Both of those will basically control our weather features for tomorrow. We may tap into just a little more of that Gulf moisture, but I think the more easterly the wind remains, the less likely we'll have widespread rain. But we could see maybe a few more passing showers, especially along and east of I-75 and maybe along coastal areas. Many of us will still have considerable cloudiness at times, but it doesn't look like we have overwhelmingly high rain chances for tomorrow, but just a little higher than what we've had today in the past couple of days. East winds at the beach and offshore, they could be gusty at times. Exercise caution for small craft this evening. Wind speeds tomorrow 8 to 16 knots, seas running 2 to 3 feet. We'll have a moderate to perhaps high rip current risk even along the western shores of the Big Bend, and a couple areas of rain and thunderstorms at times. UV index rated very high for Wednesday. And our rain coverage will be around 40% for the southern half and about 20 to 30% of our northern areas in South Georgia. Pretty typical rain chances next couple days, and then a decrease in the rain threat and increase in the temperatures. So if you were hoping that we wouldn't see any more 90s for this season, a little premature to hope that, because it is still September and still summer for at least another few days.
But at least our rain chances go down a bit going into the weekend.
They will decrease, and I think it's a different situation than what we had last weekend.
All right, good deal, Cass. Thanks a lot.
Okay.
And this Colorado restaurant had an unexpected visitor stop by for some pizza. We'll show you the very cute intruder. That's next. Well, forget the porridge. This baby bear in Colorado apparently had a craving for pizza. Employees at Louie's Pizza got a shock when they opened a storage room and found the cub. They called in wildlife experts who captured the bear and took it back to the woods. Well, I sure hope that bear cub reunited with his mama. And that'll do it. Have a good night, everybody. Yeah, except I bought this one. The
my check 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, that's cute. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
For like 2 years,
11,
and I
12.
found it in the crack of my car seat.
Oh, there you go.
And so I took it up to Pandora to clean it, and then I bought myself a charm.
There you go. Yeah.
Charm.
Yeah.
But this one was like $65.
Well, listen, I have some diamond earrings that an ex of mine got me that I still wear, and I'm like, you know what? Sorry, it's nice jewelry. Like, they're from Tiffany's. They're diamonds.